going to be a bumpy night.
What's going on, everybody? This is the Laugh Bunker podcast. My name is Josh. Paul, great to see you. Glad to be back. We've been off for a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, off. Things got very busy with me. I apologize.
No.
But it was a crazy week.
Yeah.
Things are going good. Everybody's good. My daughter is over in Michigan, staying with my sister, since everything is online. So she's over there hanging out with my mom. So she's having a good time, though it is freezing over there.
Yeah.
I mean, we're freezing here.
It's freezing here, but it's a different level.
No, it's another level. That's a man level of freezing.
Yeah.
So it's different, but it's something to be said to grow up in that. I think it makes you a different person. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah. I'm sure it hardens you and gets you used to the extremes. But I'm sure it's like when you come here and then you go back over there, it's kind of tough.
Go back.
It's kind of tough to transition back over there, right?
Well, it's
weather.
Well, no, and it's interesting, but the body, it just adapts.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's what's so interesting. So, yes, I worked outside for many years, and you're outside anyway. I mean, in the winter, no one stays at home. You're out in Chicago. You're always out doing things like New York or big cities.
Yeah.
So therefore, you're in the cold. You're on the L train. You're standing for the L train. I was roofer and carpenter, so 9 years of my life was outside in every winter. In fact, when I worked with this roofing company, we rode outside in the back of the truck in the middle of winter.
During the winter?
In the middle of winter.
And that kind of cold in like the city area in Chicago, because it gets very cold over there. Have you seen anybody or yourself take a fall? Like, is it because I'm sure the you see the icy roads. Water freezes over.
Everybody goes down. I went down 3 times remember the video that on the camera? I fell 3 times at the Westin because it was wet.
Yeah, that's right.
Would go down, and Ramon would send it to me, ask me to send it again to him. He needed to have a better day. So I was glad I was able to help him. But you also learn. I mean, you learn to drive different.
Yeah.
You walk different. And so when I came here, I didn't wear a jacket for 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it was and plus we were going through that 2010, that very warm era of very little rain, drought. Yeah. And it was just incredible. In fact, it was 80 on Christmas Day that year on 2008 or no, 2007. So now, in fact, we used to swim. One time my daughter and I were swimming in the pool, and it was like January, and I don't know, it was like maybe 70. And someone said, "What's the matter with you people?" I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "It's January." I said, "Well, we used to swim in Lake Michigan that freezes over, so it's like never warm."
Yeah.
Now, if it's not 100 and some degrees, you don't even go near the pool.
Yeah.
Can't go home. In fact, I went home a couple years ago at Christmas time, and or not Christmas time, but in January after Christmas, and it was like -7.
Yeah. So
I'm in my friend's house. I've got a jacket on, my down, the hat. And he goes, "Hey, are you sick?" I said, "No." Freezing. He goes, "Man, I got a 65. I said, "That's my winter, man. You see, your house is set at my winter.
Yeah.
You should be in a sleeping bag in a tent in your house." But it is what it is, and there's something romantic about it when it comes to the holidays, especially
the
Christmas.
fall. The fall, Christmas, winter.
Fall is gorgeous, and even up here where I live.
Yeah.
Up in San Gabriel, Sierra Madre, the San Marino with all the trees.
Yeah.
There was a couple days, but it was late. The color that I saw in January would be what we would see maybe in October.
Yeah.
But there's by around where I live, there's a lot of like silver maples, and they have the really bright red leaves.
Yeah. Around here too, where I live.
Well, because you live at the end of that cul-de-sac with all the trees back there.
Yeah, so
and your yard has massive.
My yard too, but the around this neighborhood, they have those type of trees, and bright red, yellows, and it's kind of like I think maybe those trees aren't very common, like only in certain patches of LA, so we don't experience the whole full fall season. But if you're in the right area, right part of your neighborhood has that kind of like thing going on, you get to experience it.
And when I grew up in Michigan, I mean, my gosh, it was silver maples and oaks. And I mean, I raked a lot of freaking leaves growing up.
Yeah. Because when I was living in the other part of town over in Montebello area, it didn't. The fall season really didn't hit you that hard, but when you come over here, you see it. You see it like red and yellows and everything all over the place. So it was different. It's pretty cool.
Even up on Mount Baldy, hiking up there before all the snow came.
Yeah.
That right. They have some massive oaks too they give that big orange to go with the red.
Yeah.
And some of those pictures of films you see, like from the East Coast, like even we always talk about The Godfather, but when he goes to get Kay and she's outside the school and it's the old New England and the trees or something it's very nice. Because so when we saw the leaves growing up, we thought of college football because West Michigan, I mean, it's all, University of Michigan, Michigan State, and then my mom always following Notre Dame because of the Irish. So that's what
college ball is probably the funnest. I don't know. I used to go a lot when I was younger to the UCLA games, like all the time, every season, and it was just fun. Yeah, the bands playing, the tailgating, the games were always fun. The energy was different. Went to a couple of Rams games before this, COVID, and I don't know the pro feel over here at least. It wasn't really that exciting.
No, well,
compared to a college game, I don't know.
No, no. Different. Okay, college. Now, my only experience was like last year when I went with my nephew.
Yeah.
Or now 2 years ago, 2 years in the fall. But we went to see the Michigan State. It was a big game. I'd never seen anything like that. So that stadium, I think, is 60, 70,000. Now, Michigan, University of Michigan, I was there one time. It's 100,000.
Wow. Okay.
So. But when you talk about sports, it's interesting how you talk about different stadiums. So when I grew up in Detroit, that was old. Yeah. Everything was old. You know what I mean? So living in Chicago by Wrigley Field, the older stadiums couldn't come back. So they're more built up.
Yeah.
So the Chicago stadium where we saw the Bulls and where all that footage from The Last Dance was shot at, or at least the best part, the beginning part before I went to the United Center, it was straight up because they had boxing there too.
Okay.
Joe Louis fought there.
Yeah.
So you can't have people way back. Even Madison Square Garden is tight. Then it goes out.
Yeah.
But this went straight up. So when we had tickets for the Bulls Pistons games or we were right over. We would hear. I mean, what you heard.
Yeah.
I mean, you thought this was gonna like we're in the alley with knives. I mean, there was it was just intense on a different level, and you could feel that when they moved to the United States, like what you're talking about, pro stadiums. We were so far away. I said, forget this. What am I? I'll be home. I can't even make it to the bathroom after a beer. It's so far away. So it took it all out. So that probably now MMA, when they do the octagon, what is the amount of people? Okay, not COVID years, let's say normal, but are we in the type of, how far are people back in these? And do they put it on camera and then put it up also?
The audience is maybe 20 feet away, but maybe even less. Probably less actually.
But how many people attend? They make their money on the video being bought. Correct?
Well, they do live gate attendance, which is huge, depending on the organization, and then pay-per-views. Usually, the organization that benefits more from pay-per-views is UFC, not the other smaller promotions. Most of the time, they're just on cable television. But I mean, you can go from a big T-Mobile Arena, Staples Center type of event.
Do they use video feed so you can see if you're far away?
You can see it. Yeah, they have like the big screens up on the top rafters, so you can see if you're way up in the nosebleeds. You can still know what's going on.
What's the fighting's
different. My favorites are always the old Vegas ones, like Mandalay Bay or MGM. Those are, or even the Forum is great. Those kind of like low level, slightly wide but smaller. They fit less people, but they're kind of like, they're perfect for boxing or MMA because doesn't matter where you sit, you're gonna have a decent view. So yeah, those are always my favorite. Now most of the big events take place over in the T-Mobile Arena, which is taking up all the big events in Vegas. Kind of like how the Staples Center is here, but I like those those low level, like those low ceiling kind of wide, but they're not too wide. I don't know. It's hard to explain. I don't know if you've ever been to an MGM or a Mandalay Bay. Those are like the perfect.
Mandalay Bay, I couldn't say for sure. MGM, yes, because in fact, the last time I went to Vegas was the first time I went in because we had stayed at New York. We were staying at New York.
Okay.
So we walked over there. One thing when I walked in, I expected it to be a little bit more
like the MGM.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
it's a little bit more dingy. Does that make sense? What I'm saying? I was just
over the years.
Maybe I only saw a little bit, but when you walk through some of these places, like Bellagio, you're just like the lights, the people, and you walk in here, you're like, can I find the lobby? Like, where do I go?
MGM is like a low ceiling kind of, like there's a lot going on. It's sleek, but yet also a little dingy. And then you go, I don't know. I think it gets a lot of the crowd there, and a lot of people like it. It's one of my favorites. I don't know. I just like the feel of it going there. It's usually when I stay there, I usually like to stay at MGM.
Well, it probably has some of them of any of the casinos, show places. It's probably known as the place for fights, correct?
Yeah, definitely. But not so much anymore, though. You got T-Mobile. They opened up the big T-Mobile arena.
But for historical fights,
even then,
a lot of.
At this point, it's all T-Mobile. All happens at T-Mobile, and I don't really like that because it's kind of like the Staples Center. Like, if you're up at the top, I mean, you're looking at the screens. You know what I mean? Like MGM, I could sit up way in the back, and I'll be fine. I could see what's going on. I don't even need to really look at the screen. But yeah, it's not the case anymore.
Chicago, even Soldier Field and Wrigley are all really old, and even Comiskey was number 2 behind Fenway.
Yeah.
So everything and it's in the city, so they can't expand out. But yeah, like I understand the United, and even going to concerts. When I was younger, we would stand in line. When I first started going to concerts, there was no seats.
Yeah,
you stood in line and partied, and then you got in.
Yeah,
and it was now. I just can't.
For me, as I gotten a little older. If there's seats available, I'm pretty much going to the seats, unless it's a band or something like that. I really would like, and I got to be in the feel and all the electricity. I got to be there a little bit.
The mosh pit.
I'll put up with it. Yeah, I'll put up with it. You know what I mean? But 9 times out of 10, I'm flopping my butt in those seats. I'm just, I'm like that Bernie meme. I'm right there. I'm just watching that.
It's funny. I had some friends in Chicago that were kind of part of the punk rock scene in the 80s, and they would take me to these shows where they would have this mosh pit, and I would be like, it was like so out of control. I went and saw this band called Dempster Escape Plan. Dillinger
Escape Plan. Yeah, they're crazy. Yeah, they're known for their.
And they were at the Metro, shows. So the Metro is like that Chicago. The Metro is where the first of the is it Sleeping Pumpkins? Smashing Pumpkins. Yeah. It was the last. It was supposed to be their last shows. We saw a lot of great shows. It was killer.
Yeah.
So I went to the show, and the lead singer, who was very muscular, he got the box fan, and he just chucked it into the audience. It was and, I mean, I was kind of cool, and people were punching, and there was a lot. I could see going back to England. That would be a pretty interesting time. So when we left the show, I was with Brian. Brian was in a lot of bands in the 80s. A lot of he was real good friends with POD and that whole Southern California rap core and a lot of bands like that. Yeah. So I was walking out with him. There was this homeless guy, and this guy said, "Hey, man," he looked at me. He goes, "Hey, man, you're way too old for that shit." I didn't even know how he knew what the band was. Yeah. But everyone had the tattoos,
piercings.
I mean, the guy who did the logo, Spike.
Yeah,
he was from a punk band. He had Spike because his hair in the 80s was that, like spikes with cornstarch.
With the name like Spike and being known for that, you got to.
Now he's got a beard down. He has no hair. It all fell. The gravity took it down and cursed him. But
So we're talking about
Anyway.
sports. How happy were you yesterday? Because I know Tom Brady is headed off to the Super Bowl. So
Well, I'm going to tell you that someone texted me and said, "How big is your erection?" And I wrote back. I'm from Chicago, by the way, and I wrote back. I said, "As big as my smile." You know what? I'm going to tell you. I did. So we're going right into what we've been watching, and so the last couple of weeks, I do love football.
Yeah.
I'm growing up into. It's funny because growing up, college football was everything. No pro, and I probably didn't get into pro to the year I moved 85.
Okay.
To Chicago, which was the year to be moving to
you got the
Chicago.
Bears. Mm-hmm.
And talk about a stadium at Soldier Field back then. If you showed up after halftime and someone left with a general admission seat, they would give you the ticket and you could go sit.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
But after you go one time in the middle of winter, you say, "Screw that, I'll sit at home."
Yeah.
That's what was so weird. It was perfect. You go to church, and then we have the games. 12 o'clock. Out here, football food at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Chili ain't working it. You know what I mean? It's not working. So anyway, got into it, but as we've always talked, brought up in Detroit, horrible football team. So I'm a whore. I'm a prostitute. Joe Montana was great for years, and then now Tom Brady's been great.
Yeah.
And it's been a very interesting year. You played football.
Yeah, in high school. Yeah.
So you don't follow football at all?
Not really. No, I don't. No. I play football in high school just for something to do. It was something to do. That was it.
As a person, but you're from, obviously, because of your MMA background and that is, you put so much time into this.
Yeah.
You know all the people, the training.
Yeah.
When it comes to football, and as a person outside of football, when you hear Tom Brady, what do you think? So this is not me talking who's in love with him, but you as a person outside the game. What does he represent for you?
He's pretty much, from what I gather from him, it's just he's the GOAT as far as football comes. I know, and from what I gather from a lot of people, it's a love-hate type of thing. You either really love and appreciate Tom Brady, or he's beaten your team so many times that you hate the guy and you root for his downfall. So he's kind of those type of guys, and this shows you how good he is. So he's kind of like,
say he's cut from the same cloth as Michael Jordan?
I think he's with this kind of, if he even wins tomorrow, I think even getting to this point with a brand new team, I think shows you how good he really is, because he was with the Patriots for so long. He's removed from that coach there. He comes over here and he takes him right back to the Super Bowl and has a good chance of winning. And
it's like
that's the type of people that, like Jordan was. He just
cut. Oh yeah, because we talked about this before, but there's this people like Jordan and Brady. These guys, they took all the negative energy, and they used it to really go. And it's interesting in the being a big fan, of course. And I was a Patriot fan. What I liked about the Patriots is that when you walk in their locker room, there's the banner. It says, "Do your job."
Yeah.
If everybody does their job, we win.
Yeah.
And our jobs, whatever they happen to be, if everybody does their job, you're just partying and having a good time.
Yeah. And like how Jordan used a lot of people to build around him in order to get things done. He brought what he could in, and pushed the guys around him. And I think, from what I hear of Brady, and I'm sure I heard some of it from you too, is that he does the same thing. He gets the people he wants around him. Doesn't matter if they're a little bit controversial or he has to take a pay cut to bring them in, whatever, he'll do it because that's what he wants. He wants to win most of all. So,
well,
I gather.
I'm a believer in championships.
Yeah.
The sad thing is that Aaron Rodgers will probably win the MVP because he's a phenomenal. He threw for 48 touchdown passes and 5 interceptions.
Yeah.
14-2, went to the championship game.
Yeah.
But to be the MVP and walk away without the trophy, and really it is all about the Super Bowl, and this Mahomes kid knows it. he is one of the most talented. I think Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in the league, but I think Mahomes is talented.
I think it's an interesting thing because I saw that. Yeah, Mahomes is going to be Mahomes versus Brady. You got the young hotshot quarterback that's coming to the scene and doing commercials and everything, and then you got
what's great
veteran.
The last time Brady won the Super Bowl 2 years ago, he went through the young quarterbacks that were shoved down his throat. Joff from the Rams and Mahomes. And so this time he went through Breeze. Rodgers. I mean, he just this is the kind of stuff that these crazy people go for. He doesn't want a crummy. He wants to beat the best. And he knows because he separated himself from Belichick. That it's like, oh, it was just Belichick's system. Now he comes down here and they were 11-5, so they're a wild card going for the championship, but the games were close. And it's it. But it's funny because the press and ESPN and everybody is so against Brady. And it goes back some to political stuff to the back of going to the White House and the whole deal, whatever. But so you don't see anything on ESPN, like even all the games. In Brady, I think he can win the game. Plus, this is the first time someone has played a home team. So in other words, the Buccaneers are the home team. They're playing in their home stadium for the Super Bowl. So I mean, it's so amped up. It'll be phenomenal either way. And yes, I was happy because even against the Packers, he had 3 picks or interceptions, but 2 of them, his guys dropped the balls. His guys, they're not because that really it wasn't as close of a game as it looked. Interesting. So anyway, I am happy, and he's 43. What did you have to celebrate? I know you were talking about. You mentioned you sent me some pictures of some the sausages and pigs in a blanket. Pigs in a blanket, yes. But we made them with Chicago hot dogs. We had guacamole and chips. I made Heath Bar chocolate chip cookies with vanilla ice cream and warm hot fudge sundae topping. No whipped cream though, because we want to cut back a little.
And you've been cutting back on alcohol, but you had a beer. Yeah, you had to. What did you have?
I just like this Voodoo. IPA Voodoo.
Yeah.
It's 9%. It's just I just had 1 beer. I am going to the doctor, so I am stopping. Plus, I'm really motivated in physical health. And to have a drink and then go to bed to use it to try to sleep because my job has become very intense lately. With a lot of police involvement in at the hotel and different things, and so. But now on Super Bowl, going to have Chicago pizza Giordano's.
Nice. When's the Super Bowl? When is that?
7th.
February? Okay.
2 weeks. Yeah.
Okay.
There's always a 2-week break between the championship game and the Super Bowl. Super Bowl is in Tampa. And the Gronk is also on the team. So, but Brady, he's going to 10 Super Bowls. He's playing in 10 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about that, if he wins, it'll be 7 out of 10. 7. He doesn't have it. So it will be interesting. And but Mahomes is great. I think their coach is suspect. I think Mahomes he's got it. See, difference between him and Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's a great athlete. He can't throw the ball. Mahomes can throw the ball out of the stadium. He threw the ball at the stadium. And on the run, he's more deadly than in the pocket. And they got that guy, Hill, the receiver. Guy's like, I've never seen one so fast. He's like, unbelievable. So it'll be a great game. It'll all come down. In the big game, it's going to come down to the defense.
And Mahomes kid has a lot of personality, too. I saw his commercial with Troy Polamalu, I think.
Yeah, that was a little
hair commercial.
Yeah, that was a little concerning.
But you know what? I was looking at his performance, and it didn't seem that. And in the commercial, it didn't seem that bad. I was like,
he's in a shower with another guy. That's what was freaking me out.
He went method on it.
Yeah, it was like. Well, then if it was method, then he's been doing it forever.
Yeah.
So, right?
He kind of
He
has.
stayed, so you're saying he stayed in character.
He stayed in character. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so I am excited about the game. Moving on, I did start a second book,
Okay.
No Man Land,
Okay.
and it's the book that has been turned into probably the Oscar-winning film this year. I don't know if you've been reading about The Buzz. It won the Critics' Choice Award and won a few others. It's with Frances McDormand. It's very sad and it's very weird because it deals with people my age and not having jobs.
Okay. Now is that movie available now? Can you watch that movie?
Maybe on Hulu, but
okay.
In every
I don't even know what's being considered for this year's Oscars. Like what's on the list?
Right? Well, my wife turned me on to it. She said, "Hey, read this article." So I read about it, and so then I read the book, and or I'm not done. I'm 3/4 done. And it is, it's more journalistic, following the group of people, and they're called nomads or they're called van campers. And what they are is they follow Amazon seasonally. So they camp in these campgrounds and they work for Amazon. They're working like 12. Really, I think the article was originally, it was an article and then it became a book, but it was about the abuse of Amazon on the elderly.
Oh yeah,
guys are working 12-hour days, injuries.
You hear people passing out in those distribution centers. Yeah.
And so it follows this one lady, and that's who the Frances McDormand character is. But it was funny. So I'm reading the book, and then I'm at work picking up someone's garbage, and I'm like, wow. It was very depressing to read the book and that. But anyway, it's the movie going to be one of the movies of the year.
Yeah.
And the reviews I've read are through the roof. And I think Frances McDormand is just the bomb when it comes to acting.
Yeah.
And because it's all these campgrounds, and this book takes place right here around St. Elsinore and all the way up in Southern California. So you will know all the names.
Okay.
And the campgrounds, you've heard of all of them. So it becomes even more real.
Yeah.
It's this world we don't know really exists, or maybe you did, I didn't.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. I'm reading that. And then I'm going to read the original Last of the Mohicans.
Okay, cool.
Because I was just watching the movie.
The movie, yeah.
Do you like that movie?
I like that movie. I was actually Michael Mann's one of my favorites, and I was gonna watch it. I watched a little bit last night, the opening first 15 minutes again, and then they were cooking in the house, and it was too much noise. So I was like, I'll watch this later and actually be able to hear what I'm watching. So I had to put on a movie that I really already knew what was going on. So
I understand. I burned a lot of food and I burned a lot of cookies by watching that. But I haven't watched it in a long time.
Yeah.
And
we'll get into our views.
Okay.
For as far as books, Elton John, I'm still on that, so I haven't really gotten into anything else. But for watching of the week, views of the week, go
back 1 second. So you were you discussed last week. Remember you read the book about Lucille Ball?
Yeah.
And you heard there's a movie coming out now.
I heard
that Nicole Kidman was supposed to be up for the role, and then something happened, and now there's
I heard it was Kate Blanchett was first offered the role, and then she kind of backed out, and then it's an Amazon movie, and then I heard Nicole Kidman kind of took the role, and then now Javier Bardem's playing Desi, and it's supposed to take place in 1 week's span of making an episode, and then some of the drama that happened during her life while the filming was going on. So there's going to be table reads, and then there's going to be the shooting of the episode, and then the drama that's a part of her that's going on at the time. I'm thinking most likely that they might focus on her either pregnancy.
That's what that was the first one I was thinking in my head.
I was thinking the pregnancy, or she even had she was being accused of being a communist, and I think that might be one too, because when she was young, she registered as a communist because I think her grandfather or somebody that she knew was in town was running for a political position like the town, and then she actually never voted, but the media went back and found the records in her town book, and that she registered as a communist, and it was during that time when they're the Red Scare and they're kind of going after everybody, and so it came out in the media that she had at one point registered as a communist, and then there's a whole drama surrounding her around that time. So she had to come out with a statement and a bunch of other stuff publicly and all that. So
now it looks good to be in the Communist Party in America. She was really almost like a pioneer.
Yeah. So I can see them running with either one of those. I think the communist thing will be a better fitting kind of thing for this, because that word's being thrown around a lot right now. So it's like that's a good, part aspect of her life to really kind of cover. But we'll see.
Well,
did you hear Nicole Kidman dropped out or something? Or
I just seen what I read. There was something that she was picked over, and then someone was backing her up, like, hey, either a family member or something. There was something involved. I only looked through the headlines. I didn't read the article, so I can't go in. But when I saw it, I did think of you because of reading the book. But yeah, I decided to quit reading things that I'm supposed to read and just read things I like. And now I read all the time. Whereas before I was like, I should only read these books to be a better filmmaker, or read these books to write scripts, or write these books for English or whatever. And now it's like,
it's a lot more enjoyable.
Doesn't matter. Well, you learn just as much. And that Grammarly Pro, it's like $35 a month. That is the best educational investment that I made for my writing ever.
Yeah.
Because it teaches me all the principles that I don't understand. Like, so it helps me correct, but it just doesn't correct. It explains exactly what it is. So I see an example from my own writing, how to fix it. And my wife, I was showing her it just has taken, and I'm not there. So when I used the free one, it would say, there's 9 more things to fix. Yeah. And I would spend like days to knock them down. I'm down to 6 instead of just moving forward. Yeah. It's stupid. So now I write, and I'm cranking. Yeah. I haven't cranked like this probably since 2005. Yeah. I mean, so I'm knocking it off. So what I do is I write it, then I put it on Grammarly. I put it back on, wait 2 days, go through it one more time, and then print it, and I don't ever go back. Yeah. And so now all those pieces of the book, all the chapters are now stacked up. Yeah. And now I can lay them all out. Nice. So that it can. So anyway, it had and having a good laser printer, I have one like you. Yeah. Just to get it done and just look at it makes a difference. So anyway,
you got a brother printer, right? Yeah. 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 Those are good, man. Because my 2-year-old is beating that artist a crap. Like I'm surprised that thing still runs, and it runs perfect.
It's funny. I wanted to send the Zeppelin cars to a friend of mine in Chicago whose son is 5 years old, and this guy was ex-drummer too. Yeah. They were gone. Hot Wheels sold out on Amazon till almost, in fact, I just sent it on, I think the 16th or 17th. I mean, you couldn't order anything. Yeah. They just sold out, and that was one of the coolest things. I save the packaging, I save the box, it's all there for it. So when he's done playing with them. So when he goes to bed, I'll just pull him in and go, what? I don't know what you're talking about. Hot Wheels. Yeah. Anyway, it was funny. So I did send that to a friend of mine. His name's Everett, or his son.
It's cool. That is a cool set right there. That's an awesome set. Really nice.
Well, it was just he's a rock and roller drummer, so many people think that Led Zeppelin had the best hard rock drummer of all time, John Bonham, because of the way he could keep the rhythm.
Yeah, no, I mean, as a rock fan, I appreciate it, and I'm sure that it was pretty cool to see. I was like, whoa, it was really cool. Even the packaging, everything. It was really nice.
If you're gonna go with the band, you got to go with it's either the Beatles or Zeppelin. I mean, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah, I know. So what have you been watching this week? Past couple of weeks? Because since we've been off.
Well, it was a couple of weeks of football.
Yeah.
The playoff games, mostly Tampa Bay. The whole games with Tampa Bay and the Saints, and then Tampa Bay with this week with the Packers. But really, and then reading a lot. But really, I've been I watched The Last of the Mohicans,
Mm-hmm.
and man, that movie, is just incredible.
Yeah.
And it has, I think, one of my favorite character actors, that Wes Studi, Indian guy.
Yeah.
He just steals. I mean, Daniel Day-Lewis is, this is like in the top 2 or 3 actors of all time.
Yeah.
Would you say he's up there?
Yeah, because I just saw The Phantom Thread last night. Finished it up. Yeah, he's thespian. You see it. He's the way he is.
He's method. They say he never, like when he did Lincoln,
I hear. Yeah.
He never one time left the accent ever for the whole time.
That's got to be hard to be around. Yeah.
Well, he's not married, is he?
No, I don't know. But he goes a hard method like that. I'm sure he isn't. But
well, you know what? And we don't know anything about him, so we just accept his characters, which is so wonderful. But this guy Wes Studi, he stands next to Daniel Day-Lewis, and he owns it. He just he without saying a word. The dude is commanding. And the scene where he drops back and drops the tomahawk and takes out the guy. I mean, can you imagine being in the woods and hearing the screaming? And I mean, it's just it's insane. And Michael Mann, one of your favorite directors.
Yeah, and Wes Studi's in another Michael Mann film, Heat, alongside Al Pacino. Him and Al Pacino are, he's like his right hand man.
People must like him because they keep the people. Certain directors always use actors, Cameron especially from Titanic and all the Terminators. But I love the movie. I never feel it's out of place. I never feel like I'm in costumes. It's built on love stories, so the whole thing is romantic, and the music, the soundtrack is kick-ass.
Yeah,
and his stepdad is Russell Means, who was one of the Indians who captured Alcatraz in the 70s and held it hostage. Yeah, so he went to prison. He's an Indian activist. He doesn't even have to say anything. The guy is just he owns the scene.
He owns the scene. We're still talking about Wes Studi. Yeah, he owns every scene he's in, and he's calm and he doesn't say a lot, but whatever he says, it's got a lot of power to it. So.
Yeah, even when he's talking to the French commander, the French guy's like, "What's the deal, man?" Yeah, it's like, to his children are under my knife, and then I will cut his heart out. It's like, dude, they have therapy for this now.
Yeah.
Or see, that was before Firewater, so it wasn't heavy drinking to get rid of the hard times. So anyway, I thought the movie was great. What I'd have to say of anything I've been watching. That's probably my favorite thing that I've been watching lately, and I haven't seen it probably in about 10 years, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So
I've done a lot of watching, a couple of movies, and a lot of documentaries, which have been all pretty good. I saw The Phantom Thread with Daniel Day-Lewis, which I thought was pretty good. It wasn't too slow of a drama. It's kind of a love story. He's an older man, cranky, and a dressmaker, and then he gets involved with this young waitress, and who ended up becoming his girlfriend. And
I've never seen this.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No,
it's on.
What's it on?
I think HBO has it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will you text me that?
It's good. It's good. The music.
I can see the picture from the film because he got a nomination.
Yeah, he was nominated.
Yeah, I thought so.
It was good. I mean, I'm not going to give anything away, but that's basically the story.
You recommend it then?
Yeah, I recommend it. Yeah, I recommend it. Overall, it's pretty good movie. It's pretty good.
I forgot. Saw Judy or
Judy
with my wife, Renee Zellweger. Have you seen this?
I haven't. I think that's on Amazon or where is it?
Yeah, it was on Amazon. Is what I watched it on.
And she won the Best Actress. Right? This year.
Oh, yeah. I'm not kidding you, man. You don't see Renee Zellweger. She's able to disappear. Mm-hmm. And I mean, of last year, my 2 favorite performances. Not going to say Queen's Gambit, but that was obviously one.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about playing an iconic person,
Yeah.
like Elton John,
Yeah.
or Judy Garland. Holy
Yeah.
crap!
Yeah.
Whose daughter's Liza Minnelli.
Yeah.
That performance of Egerton and those are. I keep going back to Rocket Man and watching the music videos,
Mm-hmm.
and then I saw him. Not a documentary, but they showed him with the cast actually singing in the studio.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that?
No.
Holy cow!
He's great. No, and he's so young in that you could tell he puts everything into his role, and I think as he's getting older.
Oh, he's going to be phenomenal.
He's going to be phenomenal. Yeah, definitely.
Though I did turn on this movie called The Billionaires Club about some scam in LA with him and the dude who was the baby driver.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, well, don't worry about it.
Okay.
You got plenty of stuff to see.
Yeah.
And on that note, okay, Bridgerton, are you kidding me? My wife made me watch the first show.
Yeah. I didn't even bother. It's just not for me. I don't know.
It's ABC TV on Netflix.
Exactly.
That's why I don't watch ABC. That's why I watch Netflix.
And yeah, I just know I'm not that I'm saying it's not for me. It's just it's not what I'm feeling like watching. And you could see it. It's ABC network kind of CW kind of television. Dressed
CW,
up.
that exactly.
Yeah, it's like dressed up really in a period piece, and it's supposed to be taken seriously, but
it doesn't look one person from the time.
Yeah, you sell it like it is, which is a fun movie or fun show, whatever, like a Gossip Girl or a Riverdale, and that's what it is in a period setting. It's like
I really tried, but anyway, and then other than that, I just been I did watch Dead Poet Society.
That's on Amazon too.
For you. Yes, exactly. You can see I've switched from Netflix to Amazon.
They have
kind of go back and forth.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question. To you, what is the saddest moment that you've seen on film, or that resonates with you? Now, the reason I'll talk to you about why I'm saying this, but on film, when you think about you personally and watching movies, is there one that stands out that, man, every time you see it, it's just brutal?
Probably everything that happens in the last battle scene of Saving Private Ryan. I don't know, like that's it. With the guy getting stabbed and he's fighting that guy in the small room, and then Tom Hanks dying, getting shot, and that's a sad movie. That's just off the top of my head that one came, but there's I don't know when the one I go back to where I know it's just gonna hit you. The end of Gladiator. I don't know.
Oh yeah. No. Yeah, because you're right. Okay,
because he's like he's talking, but he's not really there, and he's kind of like walking through the fields to his family, and then he collapses and blah blah blah. Yeah.
And we built the nostalgia of being away from his family, and then we see, Joaquin Phoenix having murdered and the whole deal.
Yeah.
At the Dead Poet Society, when I can't think of the actor's name. He's the bald guy, the first RoboCop, Clarence Boddicker in the first RoboCop.
Okay.
He was on the show in Wisconsin. The kid,
You're talking about the guy that plays RoboCop.
No, not RoboCop. The guy who played the bad guy.
Okay.
My brain is in Dead Poet Society. He's the mean dad.
Yeah.
But when his son shoots himself in his dad's studio, and he comes around, and you don't see the body, but the dad's. I mean, to me, I forgot about it because I just watched it again, and my wife said that to her is the saddest scene. Of death. Yeah. And it's like,
I think especially that, like a scene like that, definitely as a parent now.
Oh yeah.
I think it has more of an effect. I don't know. I'd have to watch it again.
It's and then my other one would be Terms of Endearment.
Yeah.
When Deborah Winger's trying to communicate with the older son as she's dying.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, and then Shirley MacLaine runs out to get, count down the seconds for the pain medicine.
Yeah.
I mean, just really. So, not that I wanted to talk about sad things, but
no. That's a good topic.
Whole Society.
Yeah.
And like I always go for sad stuff. I would rather watch something. I don't watch funny stuff anymore.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Every now and then I'll put on like a Superbad or something like that. But
it's something that you already know.
Yeah, if I'm cleaning the house or something like that, I'll definitely put it on. But I'm not going to go to. There's not a lot of comedies unless it's certain people that I know are making it, like a Rogan or Seth Rogen or Judd Apatow. I'll probably give it a shot. But I'm not. Yeah, I haven't really gone to a lot of comedy recently, like movies, film. It's just. Yeah.
Well, maybe no one's really feeling funny.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
But I mean, I am. But but yeah. So I other than that, watched some documentaries, Assault on El Cap, and then I did turn on this show on Amazon called Everest. It's like they follow these people going up.
Okay.
And it was I don't know. I don't care. I don't know. When I contacted even this guide about Denali next year, I said I'm not interested in the mule train. I said I know this mountain and I can do it.
Yeah,
it's just all about the logistics. I'm looking more for a logistics and a guide, not a guide, just a partner.
Yeah,
if it's only a few of us, I don't want to be in a group of 12 people that I don't know. And I guess it's called the mule train type of thing. But so I couldn't watch the show. But other than that, no, I haven't really. I've been spending more time. I went on a binge of working, dude.
Yeah,
this pain was killing me.
Yeah, which is a big part of. I want to say we both had a lot of things going on, but yeah, definitely the workload that you had really was the past couple of weeks.
I went like 3 weeks without a day off.
Yeah,
and then not sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
It's been very. But anyway, I had a good meeting with my GM. So yeah, my schedule is going to get better, and
That's good.
In May I'm done.
That's good.
I'm going. I'm done. I'm going to Colorado for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I'm going to drive out there. I'm picking up my friend, and we're going to just climb for about 10, 12 days. I'm going to come home, and then I'm going to fly to Michigan and see my mom.
That's awesome.
And see how she's going to do or whatever. So that's what I'm doing in May.
That's good. That's good. I don't have any plans for the near future, but let's see, just to finish off any stuff that we've been watching. You're talking about documentaries.
I jumped all over.
Yeah. No, the Night Stalker documentary.
Oh yeah, my wife turned it off, like you said. It's funny you texted that, and then I texted my wife, and she said, "Oh no, I had to turn that off."
Yeah, I told you. She's watched it alone at night. No.
Yeah, when I'm at work.
Yeah. I bet you she's paranoid. Yeah, because that thing freaks you out because you see. I mean, it shows you so many details and so much about the case and him as a serial killer and that.
Did they catch that guy?
Yeah, and I'm telling you, finish it. You'll enjoy it. Like the way it ends. I don't want to give it away. I'm sure.
But is that the guy who was he got sentenced? Wasn't that the guy who they just caught?
No. This is like, are you talking about the Golden State Killer?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so another guy. Golden State Killers did other stuff.
That was the old guy, right?
That was an old guy. I think he was like a rapist and cop. I think he was a cop too.
Mm-hmm.
Richard Ramirez was in the mid '80s. It's cool. The documentary. Documentary
Didn't
has
he have
like
a brother or something involved in some of the murders too, or
no? That was a Hillside Strangler. Hillside Strangler was two cousins. I think there were two cousins. Yeah. There was like 10 girls killed. He killed one, killed half, one killed the other half, and I was like that.
How many people did this guy kill?
About 13 to 14. And I'll throw this in there too because he was never charged with it. But you find this out in the documentary, or you could probably even Google it. Is that he was also like a molester? So while he was killing people, he would also break into houses, kidnap the kid, molest them, and then drop them off somewhere. He never killed any of the kids, but he would pick them up from wherever he found them. And he had just as many kids, probably almost. And also there was several cases where he assaulted and those people got away. So he was interesting, man. I mean,
was he raised at?
He was from, I think, San Antonio, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
He has two brothers out here, or no, one in Arizona, one out here. He moved out here in the 80s. and kind of got on a drug binge and like all this other stuff. A lot of stuff happened to him when he was a kid. Moved out here, and then got into drugs, heavy drugs like heroin and all that, and then started killing in the mid to late 80s. And it was crazy because you see a lot of the towns that are around here. You see Rosemead, you see Monterey Park, you see Whittier, Pico Rivera, Montebello. Like they had cities and towns that you would never expect to see in a documentary, because unless you're from LA, you really don't hear about them. I thought it was pretty crazy. There's a lot of stuff.
Did he go to where is he now?
Well, he got sentenced to life in prison. They never charged. Well, I don't want to give away too much, but they charged him for the murders. He was life in prison, and ended up dying in prison from cancer. So basically, he died in the mid 2000s. He didn't die that long ago.
Who's the number one serial killer in America?
In terms of amount of deaths, I think there's this one black guy that just got recently charged. He had a ton of people he killed, but I think that's a little too new to where there's not a lot of information about him, and it's not like a.
Well, there was the original H.A. Wells guy, the one in Chicago with the hotel. Yeah. And then you had the guy in Michigan who they took the Leatherface from. Yeah,
Ed Gein.
Ed Gein. And then Dahmer.
He's probably the most popular, I would say, Ed Gein. No?
You don't think Dahmer's more popular?
Yeah. But I know Ed Gein, like, in terms of horror movies, a lot of people got stuff from him, and for the most part, like, and interpreted some of the stuff and used that for their horror movies. So I mean, as far as influencing horror movies and stuff like that, it's probably Ed Gein. But Dahmer definitely too is hugely popular. Richard Ramirez is something else, because serial killers they kill a certain way. There's a certain demographic that they kill. They kill them like, they have like a pattern in terms of when they kill them. He was 2 in one night. He was every other weekend. He killed them 10 different ways, also molesting children in between. It was just, men, women, children killed. Yeah, it was crazy. He did.
Dahmer had sex with skulls, though.
Yeah, yeah.
From his fridge. I mean, that's just like, and what's interesting is that we did the roof. Yeah. So I lived in Chicago during that time. So when all that was going on, because remember, I lived in Chicago when John Wayne Gacy and that whole thing happened too. Yeah. Yeah. So that's
an interesting one too. That's
so that I mean, he was best friends he was helping Rosalind Carter raise money and everything. And so it was just what
is he the one where the guy one of the last guys, the way he got away? Yeah, he got away, and then it was a little like
without his clothes on or something,
like an Asian.
And they brought him back.
Yeah, because there was an Asian Philip. I think he's Asian, right?
Yeah.
And he had a hole in his head and all this stuff, and then the cop or whatever, he was all messed up, and then the cops thought it was like some gay fetish thing gone wrong, so they took him back home to John Wayne Gacy, where he later killed him. It's a sad story right there. But yeah, I watched that documentary, Night Stalker, which I highly recommend. Gives you a pretty cool view of like that time period before DNA testing, where you can catch people now, how hard it was. And then LA, all around LA is pretty cool. And then Tiger Woods documentary, got through that. That was on HBO, 2-parter.
I heard it
was all right, because I think they sell it like it's going to be this salacious kind of like tabloidish kind of documentary, and it's really not. It's kind of like really a whole like they took a look at his entire early childhood all the way to his career, and he's even in it at the end. So they do the girl, the prostitute stuff, and then the womanizing, and then they do a big part of it's
wife knocked he was locked in the car and she was beating the windows out.
Yeah, they
said it was a car accident, but he was from Sweden.
She smacked him around, hit him with a golf club and all that.
Yeah, she beat he was probably in fear of his life.
Which for me, I didn't know is how he was he was in the public eye at such an early age.
Oh yeah, I saw him on Johnny Carson when he was 2 or 3 years old or something
yeah,
like that.
I didn't know he was in the.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about him forever growing up.
And you see it, and you see because they focus a lot on the relationship with the dad, and kind of like how his relationship with the dad and what he saw growing up, and how he was molded basically and guided to become Tiger at a very early age, as almost from birth, how it affected him as an adult later on. And he almost had, without the molestation, like accusations, like a Michael Jackson type of thing, like raised as molded and raised as a kid at an early age in the music industry, and then once he's set loose with fame and money, and it's just they don't know how to be a normal person. It's kind of like how Tiger ended up. But I think Tiger kind of has a little bit more sense in him and a little bit more of a grounded person, to where he was able to bounce back a little bit. But yeah, you see a lot of similarities in terms of that stage.
Well, and they also put a lot of stress on him in dealing with the chasing. Oh, my brain's not working. Jack Nicklaus.
Yeah.
So
which he put a lot of pressure on himself too. Yeah, and
he came within what, 2 or 4? He got 12 majors, I thought, right?
I think either because he won the 2019, I think, major. So he either tied or he was just one behind.
Yeah. So okay, here, check this out. So Jack Nicklaus, won 18 majors, right? Do you know how many times he came in second place?
No, how many times?
19 times.
19 times.
So when you think about that, and but they're always like, even now, going back to Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, they had this article. They called it the new old GOAT versus the new GOAT. But there is no new GOAT. There's no new greatest of all time till you beat the old GOAT.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So anyway, it's the same thing.
What was the other documentary I saw? Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods, when you were growing up, he was playing, correct?
Yeah, when I was growing up, Tiger was around, especially in the late 90s.
Yeah, he was the man pretty much back then.
When he went around the time when he went pro and was making his, like, every little commercial started coming out, like in late 90s and early 2000s, that's when I became aware of him. I wasn't aware of that he was, amateur, star, and also on TV at like 2 years old. I didn't know any of that. I didn't know he was around pre.
Well, yeah, like I said, we remember him being on. It wasn't Johnny Carson. I believe it was the Mike Douglas show.
Okay.
It was an older talk show, daytime. Talk show.
Yeah.
And so we grew up with him through the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's going to be in the top 2 or 3 golfers of all time, no matter what.
Oh yeah. And his relationship with his father is a big part of the documentary. And
just kind of like the Williams sisters, you wouldn't have heard of them without their father driving them. I mean, that's just, you wouldn't have heard of Beyonce too if you didn't. Her parents were involved in pushing that, and she wouldn't have been a star. I mean, she's obviously naturally talented and beautiful, but it is interesting. With my wife teaching theater, they had just the stage moms and the personalities, just even at high school, certain levels, is just the intensity.
Yeah.
And you see the movies, of course, like Fame and different things, whatever. But even though with the pushing, these people like Tiger, he had the God-given talent. No matter how much you push, if you don't have it.
Yeah.
And really, I mean, the stress level. I mean, I golfed when I was for a few years. Because when we moved to Grand Rapids, Michigan, we had to belong to a country club. I was more interested in swimming at the pool with the girls type of situation. But even to play golf for a couple of years, it's pretty. I mean, on that kind of level, I mean, can you imagine shooting a 3-throw?
No, well,
in the NBA Finals, or I mean, that kind of stuff is just what makes the champions. Yeah,
and in community college, I had to take a couple of physical education courses, and one of them was golf. So I'd have to be there at 8 a.m. at the golf range over here, which is in Pico Rivera, I think, at the border of Pico Rivera and Whittier. There's a golf
Mm.
there's a golf range over there, the course.
Well, there's a golf course right over here by my house.
Yeah,
San
by your house
Gabriel.
too. Yeah. So there's
So
one over
you
there.
golfed. What was your best score?
I don't know. I don't even know how that really. I don't know. I don't know what. I don't remember. I don't know.
You know what's funny? I was a really good golfer
Really?
until I started. I'm gonna send you a picture. I used to go to golf camps with
Okay.
my dad at professional courses. So I was pretty good. I just had a crappy short game. I could knock the shit out of that thing, but what's weird is as I got into lifting, I couldn't go play golf with my dad anymore.
Okay.
Because I can't, and if I was to make that swing with a club now, I'll be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. I mean, literally. I mean, when you watch those guys, and you think back,
the twisting of the knees, the twisting.
And think
of the
about
ankles.
going right now, taking your driver, your number one, out to the backyard and trying to hit something. You wouldn't walk tomorrow.
No. Something with just speaking of that, the other day I was at Target, and this was kind of like early in the morning. It was maybe like 10 in the morning or whatever. It's not that early, but the stores are open, and we have my son, and we're going through, and he has his Hot Wheels with him, and he dropped one. I go to pick it up, and how like when your pants are riding a little low, or like you're gonna go bend down, and you don't want your butt crack to show. So you got
no, I don't. I own a belt. There's this thing called belts.
So I have like like Adidas sweatpants on at the time.
Okay.
So you go for those one-legged kind of lean forward type of to pick something up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, man, my I don't know, I don't think it was structurally my knee, but like the tight muscles, and from just kind of like not getting up, and it's crunchy to crunch, and it didn't hurt, but it felt weird. And I've been babying it all weekend, so I haven't really worked out.
Ice it for sure, but
elevating it, icing it. I even went to go get it checked out just because I don't even want to mess with it. I'm like, I don't want to, because I want to work out soon, so I don't want to, I want to know what I'm dealing with. And they were like, structurally you look okay, so if you feel
you have any pain,
hurts.
Well, when I herniated my disc was because bending over on one leg and pull up a dumbbell, and that's a fact. And I thought it was a 40-pound, that it was 90. Because I just couldn't read it. Yeah. And it changed my life forever. So I did herniate the disc. Yeah. But once you hurt your back one time, it's I have to work out every day to keep it in line, or it hurts.
It's true. It's true. I still have every now and then right in the center, and this was I hurt my back probably early high school age, middle school. Just messing around with cousins and roughhousing and all that stuff. And man, I'm telling you, even till this day, I still aches and pains every now and then. I got to make sure I keep myself in decent condition. So,
I went ahead in March and I started that flexibility program. It's a combination of stretching, plyometrics, and even just standard boxing and martial art blocks. And I do it every day. Yeah. And even now when I do it, especially on the side blocks, my back pops perfectly in place. Yeah. But it's going to the gym, doing some of the heavier weight that keeps my spine in line. So I'm just not motivated even to go to the gym anymore. It's filled with people. They've oversold it now. Yeah. Because of my night schedule, I can't get there early in the morning. Yeah. But I go there to do the power movements I can't do at home. But
today I did a lot of stretching. I plan on maybe incorporating more yoga again. I kind of put that off.
Well, you have to get the pants first.
Yeah, I already ordered some off of Amazon. Some nice little tight spandex.
You know what? Watch out, they do explode. And Lycra has a kill radius of 30 feet now. Yeah. No, I hate to say this. I said that I would, I was against Amazon and destroying jobs, but you know what? Going out and shopping has become such a pain, and I hate going anywhere. The stores don't have anything. Yeah. It's just a hassle anywhere you go, mall, any store.
It is, especially now because every store has a line, and you have to wait in line. Well, especially if you go to like a mall or like an outdoor, area like Citadel, with the shopping areas over there. Like every store has a line that's like 30 minutes to an hour. The Nike store 2 hours. I don't want to do that just to maybe buy a pair.
No, it's not. So I have been just purchasing a lot of. I've just been doing Amazon, and what I do is Well, my daughter has Prime.
Uh-huh.
So, but I just sign up for Prime for 28 days. I cancel and then I sign up again and I just get the free shipping. And other than shoes,
Yeah.
man, I have found that if I don't know the shoe, I don't buy it online because it doesn't seem to work. So I will go to the store, try on shoes, and then order them online to find out because my feet are messed up from my accident and from years of hiking. But other than that.
For me, it's I think jeans. You can't order jeans online. For me, it's like because even if you go Levi's, you got everything has a different cut, different feel, different. I mean, like I don't even know what I'm getting half the time, so I have to go in. And go buy some.
I gotta buy some jeans. In fact, I looked online, and on Amazon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. I used to wear 501s, the button-up jeans. Those were huge when I was younger, but then they got taken over by other people, so then we couldn't wear them anymore, and in Michigan at least. And so, and then it was hard buttoning them. You know what I mean? Just like a drag if you have to go to the bathroom really bad or whatever. So it was signed. So I went with zippers. So I went from the 501 to 505s. Yeah. But then I don't know.
All right. So what's your pick of the week? Your recommendation of the week for what you've seen, what you've watched, or even what you've read. You could do one of those.
Well, I mean, the Super Bowl in 2 weeks is going to be spectacular. Huge. September 7th, having the Tom Brady against Patrick Mahomes. I mean, Patrick Mahomes wants to beat the best, and Tom Brady wants to say, hey, I still am the best. So therefore, it's going to be a great game, and they're two great team players, and it's going to be exciting. But really, I Last of the Mohicans, having not seen it for a long, long time, if you haven't seen it, it's a great love story. Yeah. It's phenomenal. And it's from a part of our history it's tough, man. Yeah. I mean, it's just incredible. And I really enjoyed all the performances too. Yeah. Okay. Even the guy who plays the British, who gives his life at the end, the British. I mean, it's just all a love story anyway. Yeah. But question on that. Madeline Stowe, who's in it, always liked her. She just kind of did big pushes and then kind of fell. You don't hear from her. She's got that great deeper voice.
Yeah. Let me take a look real quick. Stowe. Let's take a look how she looks again. Let me see. She
was in that movie with Ray Liotta. Where he's the bad cop. She's gorgeous.
She is. And she was in a lot of movies around this time period. She had this
big push, man. She was the girl for a while, or the woman in Hollywood. And,
she was.
She's just I love that the relationship with her and Daniel Day-Lewis, but the truth is the sister and the other Indian one's a little bit better. Remember, she kills herself in the movie. It's just that was filmed up in North Carolina too, up by Asheville, I guess. In it. And I've always wanted to hike up there. It was just gorgeous where it's shot too.
It looks like she might have went to TV.
Oh, really? What year was she born?
She was born 58.
Oh my God!
In LA. She's from LA.
Oh.
Last film was probably in 2003 was her last film. And then she's done a couple of TV movies, and 3 different series. So she's still working. This is all recent. So. But you're right. She was everywhere. She was everywhere for quite a while.
And that movie with Ray Liotta, where he's the bad cop stalking her, it's great. I always like Ray Liotta.
I did too. Yeah.
He's got the great voice and
he's
whatever.
Great.
That's my recommendation then this week.
Ray Liotta in Observe and Report with Seth Rogen. Have you seen that movie?
No.
Oh, it's a good like dark comedy. Seth Rogen's a mall cop, and then Ray Liotta's an actual detective, and there's like a lot of stuff going around like at the mall. So Ray Liotta and they're dynamic, and
he's a very intimidating person, isn't he?
Yeah, and he is in this movie, so it's a fun dynamic.
Is he intimidating because we always see him killing people and like from the Goodfellas on, or what?
He's intimidating, but he's like, I think the look he gives, and then if he's
got that tough looking face.
If he's upset,
where's he from? Is he from New York?
he seems like he is, no? Or Chicago,
Well,
maybe? Let me Google it. We have the internet.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's why we have it. That's why we pay $11 a month.
Yeah. Where is
he from?
Where is he from? Newark, New Jersey.
Oh yeah, well, even
Mhm.
worse. Even I mean, New Jersey's is a tough New York.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the movie with Sylvester Stallone called Copland? Where all
I
the New York cops live in the Jersey area, and he couldn't become a cop because of an injury or something.
I
And
know I know of the movie. I haven't seen it though. I know the
Harvey
movie.
Keitel's in it. Ray Lee. Oh, it's
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
it's intense.
De Niro's in it. Yeah. Copland. Yeah. No, I remember the ads for it. I remember when it was being. Yeah.
Probably one of the better roles that Sylvester Stallone played.
Yeah.
As an actor.
No, Ray
he plays totally opposite of his character too.
Yeah, Ray Liotta, though, was good in the movie Blow. Remember when he was his dad?
Played his dad.
Yeah, and he was like the supportive one, even when he was old and Johnny Depp's character was getting busted for drugs and all that. He was still supportive of his son. Doesn't matter what he did or what he got in trouble for.
Did you see the Cocaine Cowboys?
Yeah,
the documentary. Well, that's why I watch Blows, because that's really who that one guy is.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty interesting too.
Yeah,
but I haven't watched any. I haven't been back to Narcos in a long time. I'm cocained out.
Well, I think we binged Narcos almost all of 2020. You know what I mean? So I'm taking a little bit of a break, but I have had a little.
I even grew a mustache for it. You know what I mean?
You're right.
I was so into it.
Yeah.
I was only going by Pablo at my house now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't answer unless it was Pablo or Don.
At work, you're El Jefe at work.
No, really, no. It was village people and porn star. It was really the only analogies I got, and it was more village people than porn star, unfortunately. So it made literally, that was the number one comment I got from people in Chicago.
Yeah.
So figures. He moved to California.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we figured.
I think recommendations: The Phantom Thread. Another Daniel Day-Lewis is probably our actor of the week for sure. Good drama.
I mean,
it wasn't too slow. Very interesting in terms of the dressmaking and that in like a certain time period. So,
did you see The Boxer with Daniel Day-Lewis?
I don't know if I have. I don't think so.
Well, watch it.
Yeah.
And then what was it? Obviously My Left Foot, where he played the fighter, and then
with this movie, I had to think that he lived with a dressmaker and probably even made an entire dress, knowing this type of guy, right? No, I was thinking.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, and even in Lincoln, he just disappears.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I love about actors.
Yeah.
I don't want to know about you.
Yeah.
Just go in the roles and just become this character. And so, okay. Yes, so my recommendation is Last Mohicans, but the truth is, it's worth watching Judy to see.
Okay, yeah.
Renee Zellweger's her performance is just staggering.
Yeah.
I mean, when she was young, they were giving her speed and downers. Speed to stay thin and downers to sleep at 10, 11, 12 years old.
Yeah. And if you see how her life turned out, you're not knowing that information, you're not surprised. Yeah.
Who knows how many times she had been assaulted and horrible things in Hollywood, but her voice was spectacular, and even Renee Zellweger. I mean, to come out of nowhere and just nail this. I mean, it's worth watching if you're a fan of great actors.
Yeah.
And I heard it, and it wasn't a caricature, if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. Yeah.
And even the guy from Rocket Man, Egerton. Same thing. Not a caricature at all. Yeah. I believed every moment. I'm just really psyched on that. To be that young and crank that out.
Yeah.
I mean, and is there any more iconic musician?
No.
Okay, I'm not talking about great. I mean iconic, because you're talking about flamboyant and huge and expanding everywhere. And then coming back with The Lion King.
Yeah. It's true.
I loved really, who I really liked in that was Bernie Taupin's character.
Yeah, his the songwriter.
That actor who was, that's Billy Elliot.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Which
he's great. He's great in the series I mentioned before, Turn. It was an
Oh, yeah.
AMC one.
Oh yeah. I watched
Yeah.
that. I watched
Yeah.
a couple seasons of it, but yeah, I really thought that their relationship
He's a
was
great
my
actor.
favorite. Was great, and I mean, I love when he sings the song
Yeah.
and his grandma comes out at the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's just anyway. So that's become my new Queen's Gambit is Rocket Man now.
Rocket
To
Man.
be honest with you, if I'm
Yeah.
cooking, baking,
It's a great
I
movie.
throw it on. Well, it's great
Yeah.
music.
Yeah, it's great music too. Recommendations: Phantom Thread, documentaries, Night Stalker, and
But only watch that at night.
yeah, I only watch that at night.
And when you're home alone,
Yeah,
you're not allowed to watch that with people. And leave the front door open, please.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
lock the front door, the back door open, so that way it makes it least conspicuous for the killer.
Yeah.
I'll appreciate that when I break in.
And that's about it. I'm watching a documentary right now. It's about one of the bare knuckle champions in England. It's called The Governor. The Governor. It's on Amazon too. So it's a pretty good one. It's done by the documentary is done by his son. But if you
I'm
guys
familiar with this story somehow, and I can't think of why. It's in my head.
It's a good one, and they show a lot of footage of some of the bare knuckle matches.
Oh, well,
good. It's really good stuff.
So I watched the NBA with Jordan and the Pistons and the and the Celtics. That was like bare knuckle basketball compared to today.
Yeah.
So when you think about your MMA, think about that a round in John L. Sullivan's time was a knockdown. That was the round.
Yeah.
And they had one that went 76 rounds. And weren't they drinking whiskey too?
Yeah.
So that was bare knuckle too.
Yeah, and honestly, bare knuckle has had a little bit of a resurgence. So I know we didn't talk about a lot of MMA, but I had a big week or 2 weeks of MMA.
Now, what about Conor losing?
It's
is he just kind of a goof? I mean, is he?
No,
he's become almost his personality is his personality getting bigger than him. I mean, just the stories and the lawsuits and the fighting and the different things.
I think it's a typical stuff you get when you're that level of fame and you kind of are a fighter. Usually a lot of controversy follows you, but for the most part, he stays out of trouble. I think the same person that filed the lawsuit this time around, the same person that filed the lawsuit last time, that case got thrown out. So this person is just trying it over here, and they obviously did it during fight week. No, I think he's got 2 kids now. He's got a big business.
How many losses does he have?
Not that many. He's only had 3 or so, and 2 of them are recent. The Khabib and
how old is he?
4 actually now 4.
No, how old is he though?
32, 33.
Right
but here the thing with him though is that he had this incredible run. I mean, and watching it during that time was just, I mean, it was great. It was great to be around during that time, and watching him grow from like this guy who you heard about outside the organization. He finally gets a shot in the UFC, and just, I mean, it's like a storm, just one right after another. And he was the type of guy that he called his shots, like, oh, I'm knocking this guy out in 60 seconds with, and this, and he goes out and does it. And he did it, and 2-time champ, the commercials, the the Floyd Mayweather fight, the whiskey, all that stuff. So now the guy's set with.
Have you had his whiskey?
No, I haven't actually. No.
Where do you get it? Have you seen it?
Yeah, you can find it. I see it a lot actually now. But this time around, you know what? It's the thing where is you have a guy like Dustin Poirier, who I was actually at that fight when Conor beat him the first time around. That was 2014. Beat him in like a minute 60, and then Dustin goes on a 7-year run of 10-2. Losing 2 fights in 7 years, and has held his position. I think that fight when he lost to Conor was at 145 pounds. He loses that, goes to 55, and there he's been there ever since for the last 7 years. And he's big, strong, and tough, and has held his position at the top of the division and has been consistently fighting for the past 7 years. Whereas Conor had his big run and then has parachuted in and out of the sport. Fight here, take a year and a half off to 2 years, fights Mayweather, takes another year and a half off, fights Khabib, takes another year, fights 2 years, fights Cowboy Cerrone, knocks him out in like 30
how much
seconds.
did he get paid for this last fight?
Disclosed, probably like 5 mil, something like that. But that's not counting a lot of other. He gets a lot more than that. But
probably gets some of the pay per view. I'm sure, right?
But that shows you where a lot of taking that much time off and coming in and out of the sport, where you're fighting a guy who's just been consistently at the top for the past while you've been dabbling here and there in sport, and mainly you're distracted by everything outside, and you have so much going on. I think the sport has finally, I don't know, I want to say surpassed him, but Conor's at that point where he needs to either, which is going to be very difficult, focus and dedicate himself to catch up to everybody else at this point, and to ensure that he can stay where he's at, and because right now is a good time for him to get that title, or just walk away, because the guys he has in front of him, they're killers. They're killers, and they've been fighting while he's been away. And
what's his original background?
In terms of like his style?
Well, for MMA, yeah. So guys usually adapt. They don't start to go MMA, but they, what did he start?
No, he started in MMA. Yeah,
okay.
He started, but he's primarily a boxer.
Striker, right?
Yeah, throws a lot of kicks, power in his hands, quick, accurate. Like a sniper, because and has the kicks and the size to do it. But that's what happens. You can't come in and fight a guy who's grown and tough as nails and has held his number one spot while you've been away. It's just,
well, it's like the NFL this year, and no one practiced.
Yeah.
And even for Tom Brady to go, and he didn't play with those guys before they started.
Yeah.
So, everything, people bypass you.
Yeah. I wasn't surprised that he lost. I thought it could happen because of what he's been up to. He hasn't been fighting. So you can't
timing too. Sparring is not fighting.
And no, and I don't think he sparred that much. I think he changed camps. So, and also age. He's 30. I know he's not old, but in terms of fighting years, he's getting up there, and at that point, you got to you're fighting against Father Time at the same time, because a lot of times it's 35 is when guys start to drop off. So
Father Time, I'm familiar with that guy.
Yeah. So
he's just not. He's a selfish person. It's all about him. Tell him you're wrong. It's all about me.
So I could talk about MMA all day. It was a good couple of weeks of MMA. Really, a lot of good fights. But the Conor thing, I know everybody's talking about the Conor thing right now.
Well, I'm a headline guy, and I don't follow MMA personally.
No, I'm glad
I do like to know what's going on, and because of the training. Interesting that the gym I work out at, the Speakeasy, they cut a huge section of the outside, and it's becoming a boxing gym.
Yeah,
outdoors. And so they're going to start running MMA and classes out of there. And I was just there the other day, and the area they have would be like, I don't know, half the size of the Westin lobby.
Mm-hmm.
That's just from the desk, like the desk size. I cut that in half. That's the area that they took all the weight machines out, and so they got they're going to start training people. And I said this to LA Fitness, to two managers. I said, everybody follows this MMA. Why don't you just teach classes?
Yeah, you can hire
line up to sign up instead of going to some gym for hundreds of dollars, play $35 a month, and learn stuff.
It definitely you can hire a boxing coach, a kickboxing coach, a wrestling, or even a jiu-jitsu black belt. Have somebody that's in the area come and hire them.
Look where we live. I live in China. There's so many people who would do Tai Chi and all this. It would be, and I said this for years. They said, oh, it's a liability. I said, you don't have sparring. You just have the techniques.
Or-
People pay mega.
But you do what all the gyms do. You have them sign a waiver. They want to sign up for the class, they sign a waiver. And if they get hurt, they get hurt. It's up to them. But you have those courses and you have the time.
Well, I think that's on everybody's membership at every gym when you go in. I'm sure.
But I'm sure they have a separate one for that, for to getting punched in the face, just like So yeah.
True. But
All right,
anyway,
man. It's been good talking to you. Good catching up, man.
Yeah. So now with my schedule, things will, you just tell me the day.
Yeah.
It's fine. I like it earlier in the week myself.
Whenever
by the end of the weekend, I'm beat, and it's going to rain this week, so I'm going to have off 3 days. So I'm very happy.
Hey, if you want, we could get another episode in if you want. I don't. You let me know. So
how's school going?
School's going good. This week I have a group project, but I hate relying on other people. Like I don't know. But it's going good. It's a short winter session, 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So
remember the Patriots thing? If everybody does their job.
I know.
Pretty much that pretty much fits into the college program.
And everything's online, so you have to hope they see your email or something like that. I just don't. I haven't really gone into it yet. It's not due yet, but
Well, listen, man, it'll be weird, but I'm glad you're doing it. It'll be a payoff in the big run.
Yeah.
Well, listen, dude, have a good day.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you everybody for listening, watching. Make sure you subscribe, share, go on Instagram, follow us on Instagram, YouTube, all that stuff, and follow the show, support us. But yeah, thank you guys for joining. Thank you, man. Good catching up. We'll catch up soon.
Yeah, it was good. Thank you. I gotta get ready for work, unfortunately, but
right.
everything's good. But truth is, it's been a good year, and the truth is, getting a lot of stuff done.
That's good.
A lot of writing. Great, just cranking and finishing. So I'm very happy with that. And now I'm going to go eat some food.
All right, man.
Have a good day, man.
You too.